Okay, so I've just cut out that piece of acrylic for the top of my box. As you can see, this has been taken out of a spare bit of acrylic. It's always good to try and use all of the offcuts so that you're not using a new piece every time, which obviously is quite expensive. And you can see there that I've got a recess there. What I want to do is actually cut another piece out which is identical just next to that. If we have a look back at my design, you can see on the screen that at the top left is the shape that I want. Next to that are all the other shapes that I don't want. There are two ways of cutting out this shape again. The first one is to take all the remaining 5 shapes and move them out of the way and copy and paste my original shape so it's next to that lid, and then recut as I would have done before. The other way, which I think is a little bit more easy, is to go to the properties again, as you might do. So get rid of those. File, print, click on properties. Instead of going to pen, this time we go to advanced. You can see there that there's several options: home, without home, relative or center. Now for this operation we want relative. By clicking on this and then going OK, what we're doing is we're telling the laser cutter that whatever we are cutting is going to be positioned on the piece of material relative to where that home point was there. And as long as we've got our design on our sheet in the top left hand corner, we can take the housing, again for the laser, and we can move it to exactly where we want. You can't see here, but there is a little red dot, and that gives us a guide as to where our laser wants to be. Now to the laser cutter, that is the home position. All we have to do now is make sure that box is highlighted, file, print, make sure my extractors are on. Close my lid and press start. And that will now start cutting where I want it to cut. The only thing you must remember to do, if you're using the relative function, is once you've finished, go back, file, print, properties, advanced, home. If you don't do that, what's going to happen is the laser cutter will either start cutting at some random place depending on where the laser cutter was last, or it will think that it's cutting somewhere off the piece of material, and you'll get an error message which should give you cause to realise that it's not on home.